Hey, welcome everyone. This is Bill Walsh. I'll be your host tonight for our Ask an Expert series. As you know, we do this every week with the intention of bringing you great speakers with new content, new ideas, and we're building a library of free content. So if they have an offer or something that they make available to you guys, we endorse what they do. So get plugged into these leaders each and every week. There's always good, what I call golden nuggets of information. And this is important. Once again, welcome LA. I see the new cities popping in. Welcome. Always, have a cup of coffee or something to drink. Make sure you got a pad of paper and pen because you're going to get lots of notes. And then listen for the free gifts. We always have some cool free tips for you guys. And if you have not attended one of our Ultimate Wealth Camps or AI Fest, we have them coming up in Orlando and Vegas and Dallas and Chicago. And if you'd like to get complimentary tickets just for listening tonight, all you have to do is text the letters UWC to 26786 and come and hang out with hundreds of entrepreneurs and learn about the latest things in digital marketing and AI technology that is absolutely sweeping the country. But this evening, we're going to take the call first up to Minneapolis, Minnesota. We've got a very, very special guest on tonight. She has spent most of her corporate career helping companies really increase sales. And I don't mean just a little bit, I mean in the tens of millions of dollars. She understands the psychology of selling, the relationships required to win really big. I can tell you that she has a complete heart of gold. She literally has delivered content and speaks around the world. She's someone, whatever she offers, you want to take advantage of. You want to listen closely to what she shares with you guys tonight. And if anybody here has ever had challenges with increasing revenue, she is going to give you some really critical driver ideas to do that. And if you get a chance to either do coaching with her or maybe get some time with her, one of her programs, I highly recommend those. I just know that so often we don't realize how much we leave on the table because we don't take the time to invest in our ability to sell even better. And I will tell you this, I know that sometimes people think sales is a negative word. Please write this one down that, and I know this sounds crazy, but sales will solve most of your problems in business. Let me say that one more time. Sales will solve most of your problems in business. And I see our light, the lines are just lighting up tonight. We got folks on from so many different cities and states, and thanks for plugging in. But Stefani Havel, how are you? I'm going to bring the call up to you for a second. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Bill. So great to be here.
I'm going to add the pin. Thanks for being here this evening. I appreciate all the hard work you do as a Rainmaker grad, Platinum grad. I'm just so excited to have you on the broadcast tonight. Take around 25, 30 minutes, share some of your excellenceness with everyone listening tonight and some of your incredible wisdom. And I just appreciate you taking the time to be on the broadcast tonight. So welcome to the Ask an Expert series. I'm going to turn the broadcast over to you. And we have another special guest coming on, Scott Conway. You do not want to miss one message he has to share with you about legacy building. But I'm going to bring this. This pin over to you. So let's go.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Bill. It's a pleasure to be here with you, everybody else. And I commend all of you for joining here tonight. And I learned from Bill, the expert. So hopefully, you'll learn. I'm going to share with you what I learned from Bill as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's see here. Bill, did you end up making me the host yet?
Let me try to make you the host. I'm working on it. Hang on a second.
Well, as Bill said, if you guys want to grab a pen and paper, I'm going to bring the fire. I got the sparkle. Those of you that know me, that's my favorite. That's my nickname, Sparkle. So I'm going to bring the fire and the sparkles for all of you guys tonight. And talking about just sales strategies. So I talk about leveraging your network to increase your net worth and also how to turn those prospects into profits. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So if anything like that interests you, there we go. I am the host.
You're all set. So if you could just spotlight your screen again, that'd be great.
Let's see.
Just make you the spotlight or pin so everybody sees you big on the screen.
Okay. How do let's see.
Just you did a great job. There you go.
Oh, I did it. Okay.
Yeah, but you can also make yourself the pin so that you're kind of like the main deal. But go ahead. It looks great.
How do I do that? I see pin. Okay.
Yeah, just pin you. There you go. Perfect. Let's go.
All right. Okay, and you can see my screen.
It looks perfect. Just turn it into slideshow so it becomes a slideshow. It looks great.
Yep, I was just gonna say, whoops. All
And
right.
your slide, just go to the top slideshow. You'll see it right there in the center.
Okay, there we go. Okay, gotcha. All right. Now
Beginning
entering.
over to your left, go to your left.
Oh, from beginning.
There you go. All right, have fun.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the technology help. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. So again, as Bill mentioned, my name is Stefani Havel, and I'm a communication and sales strategist. And we talk about prospecting to profits and then leveraging your network to increase your net worth. All right. So just a couple questions for you as we start out tonight. How many of you would say sometimes you struggle to convert your network into actual sales leads? I hear from people all the time. I'm really connected on LinkedIn. I have all these contacts, my friends and family, but they're not buying from me. I'm running out of leads. I got to go spend more money on leads. Or the current lead generation method that you're using is not getting you the results. Sometimes people will say, I just spent $10,000 on some leads and I'm not getting anything. So, or is the network that you have underutilized when it comes to generating quality leads? And I can tell you, I was guilty of this as well. I currently have over 18,000 contacts on LinkedIn. But I built it up. I think I was one of the first adopters of LinkedIn. So I have built up my network over time, but I was really never leveraging it to increase my sales or grow my business. Part of it was because I worked in corporate America for 25 years. So I was limited as to how I could leverage my network. So now that I've been out of corporate America for a year and a half, I'm going to share with you some of my tips and tricks and ideas on how I've grown my business. And now that I'm self-employed, grown my business by leveraging my network, my current leads that I have, and the people in my network. So I'll talk to you about, I have a class, I only have a few spots left in it. It's called Prospects to Profits, an accelerator course. But I always say this class is not for you. If you're one of those that says, nah, I don't want to try anything different. I've already tried it all. I'm good. Or you don't want to try anything. Ooh, that AI. I'm not a social media person. I hate talking on the phone. I'm too busy. And I don't want to grow my business, then this isn't for you. You might want to tune out maybe and then talk to Scott. But if you have an open mindset, you want to learn something new, you want to try some new techniques, but maybe not sure how to use them, then you're in the right place at the right time. All right, so let's see. Okay, why is my screen not moving? Okay, there we go. As Bill said, and I told you before, my name is Stefani Havel. I'm a sales strategist. And my company is called the Sales Strategy Network. So kind of where I got started, I've been in sales for 5 decades. So yes, I'm going to give away my age, how long I've been in competitive sales for 5 decades. You can see I started when I was 6 years old. Yes, that's me right there in the pigtails, working on my grandpa's farm and working at the farmer's market. And so what I learned is a lot of what I use today are the skills and sales strategies that I learned growing up on the farm. What it was, so I don't know if how many of you have ever been to a farmer's market. If you're listening, you can type in the chat. Yes, just type in a Y if you've ever been to a farmer's market. Just curious if anybody knows what I'm talking about. But when you go to a farmer's market, like you go down the row and everybody pretty much has the same thing. Actually, as a matter of fact, just last weekend, I was at the Minneapolis farmer's market, and every row, they're selling about the same thing. Everybody has their beans and their tomatoes and their peppers and all that kind of stuff. But it's, how do you decide? How do you decide which stand you're going to buy from? Well, my grandfather was a master. He was an Italian immigrant, and he learned that it wasn't just about the commerce. It wasn't just about making money. It was about building a community and making a connection. And even at 6 years old, I would watch him as people would come up and he would talk about it, and he would share his passion about how he grew the vegetables and what he would do with them, how his wife, my grandma, also an Italian immigrant, would make the eggplant. How she'd make eggplant parmigiana, and we would have garlic, and we would put garlic in everything. Well, I quickly picked up on that. And so I started sharing recipes. So at 6 or 7 years old, I'm out there, I'm hollering broccoli, 50 cents a bunch. And I'd say, hey, this broccoli, my mom mixes up with a little lemon and salt, and it's amazing. And so then people want to start hearing about our recipes. And so people would come back to our stand because they thought, hey, if this little girl's going to eat broccoli, maybe my kid would eat broccoli. And then we were providing value. We were giving them recipes and talking to them about, hey, if you want to grow garlic or you want to grow some eggplant. My grandfather would share some tips about how he watering techniques or fertilizer that he would use and all the care. And he just really built this community of people. And you can see people crowding around, and he was right out there every week. And he was one of the most successful to this day. He's still one of the most successful farmers at the St. Paul Farmers Market. They play homage to him down there. But those are lessons that I learned from my grandfather. Then my mom was an entrepreneur as well. At 22 years old, she started her own beauty salon. And again, what I learned from my mom was creating an experience. So for many of us, it's about the experience. That's what people want, is an experience. What do they feel? They didn't come into my mom's beauty salon just to get a haircut, and a hair color. It was more than that. It was, she had a home interiors store in the basement, and then they were selling jewelry. So people would come in and, they get their hair cut, they get it colored, they try on some jewelry, and they had some camaraderie, and it was just a lot of fun. And people kept coming back because they loved the experience. And again, it was that community. And then they'd be talking about with their girlfriends. Oh my gosh, you got to try this salon. This was so fun. And again, I was fortunate to work in that salon with my mom and watch her and all the other ladies build this community. And so again, at a young age, I learned that it wasn't just about the commerce. It was building a community, turning those transactions, making them connections with people. And I carried all of those skills again for, in my 5 decades. I spent 25 years in corporate America. And when I was in corporate America, that's what I would lead. I led high performance sales teams, and I would talk to them about with these clients. Once somebody's a customer of yours, they have to be a customer for life. And I think so many of us miss that. I'm going to talk about the sales cycle process. And part of the sales cycle, there's 7 steps in the sales cycle process. And one of those steps, the final step, is follow-up. And so many people miss that because they think, well, like at my grandpa's, okay, we sold them vegetables. Okay, well, they're good. Well, we wanted them to come back, or we wanted to try something different or something else. So we had to keep creating that experience and following up with them. And we'd say, hey, well, come back next week. Then we got to start to the point where I'd start bringing little samples, and people are like, wow, I want to try that. And so it was we just kept following up with them to getting them to come back and come back. All right. So one of the things that people are always thinking about, and maybe some of you have heard this, if you know what this stands for, you can put a 1 in the chat. Just indulge me and see how many of you know what this means. Don't give it away, but just tell me, put a 1 in the chat if you know what this is abbreviation for. Scott knows. Anybody else? And if you don't, that's okay. And if you know what this is, put a 1 in the chat. All right, drum roll. This is what every single customer you have, without a doubt, is thinking. No, my computer. Oh, what's in it for me? That's what everybody wants to know. They don't really care what you've done, where you've been, whatever. What's in it for me? How is this going to benefit me? And that is the frame of mind that you really need to adopt when you are in sales. That's what the customer is thinking. How is this going to benefit me? So going back to the story, working on the farm. What if I buy this broccoli? Well, it's going to get your kid to eat their vegetables, right? And you're probably going to feel more healthy if you start eating more fruits and vegetables. That's what's in it for you, right? So that's kind of what we did. And I learned that at a young age. I really didn't understand it at the time. But as I got older and continued in sales and reflected back on it, I realized that's exactly what my grandfather was doing. And that's what my mom was doing. What's in it for me? They were getting an experience. They were learning about new hairstyles and things like that when they came to the salon. So what's in it for me? When we talk about sales strategies, whoops, sorry. Hold on. Okay. When you master the sales process, and I'm going to share a slide with you about it, but master the sales process can lead up to a 30% higher conversion ratio when you understand the sales process. And this is a key word. If you got a pen and paper, I'd write this down because this is key. When you miss steps, you miss sales. Okay, I will say that again, and I will repeat it over and over again. When you miss steps, you miss sales. I always like to give the analogy. I'm not much of a baker. I'm more of a cook than I am a baker. But what I do know about baking is you can't just throw everything in the pan, whip it up and throw it in the oven and it's going to work. Any of you that have baked, you have to there's a process to it. You got to put in the flour and then the eggs and then the water and then mix it up and then add some of the other ingredients, because if you don't, it's not going to work, right? It's going to fail. That's just like sales. If you miss one of the steps in the sales process, you're going to miss sales. And sales, and then talking about communication, you heard me say that I'm a communication expert. I'm a top communication voice on LinkedIn. Sales professionals who excel at communicating have a 52% higher conversion rate than those that don't. So again, it's about the sales process, but it's also learning about how to communicate. And I'm going to share some of those strategies with you here. So this is the 7 steps in the sales cycle process. And we don't have time to go through all of them. I could talk for 6 hours on this stuff. And I want to make sure respectful of time for Scott as well. But here's the 7 steps. So the ones I want to talk to you about tonight are the ones that are, I feel, really the most critical. And again, these are all things that I talk about when I talk about my Prospect to Profits class that I have coming up here. We go through the whole 7 cycle, the whole 7 steps. But prospecting, qualifying, and approach. Those are the 3 main things that I want to share with you tonight about the sales cycle process. Oops, I'm sorry. And I'll just share the other ones. The other one is presentation, objection handling, and follow-up. And as you heard me say, if you miss any one of these steps, you're missing out on sales. And Bill said that at the beginning. Sometimes there's a lot of deals we leave on the table. And I can tell you, a lot of my coaching clients, I go into companies and I talk to them, and I can always pinpoint one of these aspects that they're missing that's causing them lost sales. Every single time. And we all fall victim of it. I still fall victim of it sometimes too. I have a picture of this on my desk so I can remind myself to make sure that I'm going through. Sometimes we got to go back. It's like a pendulum. We might have an approach, but we got to go back. Did we qualify them right? Did we get enough information? Do we got to redo our presentation? We go to handle objections. Oh, did we go back to our qualifying? Are we handling all the objections that we thought would come up? And then again, that follow-up. So one of the key things to building and scaling your business, and Scott's going to talk about building that legacy, is building a foundation. I just love, I love analogies. I have analogies and stories for everything. So hold on. But building a foundation to scale your business. These big skyscrapers are not built just on land. They go deep into the ground, because whatever storms are going to come, we know that's going to happen in your business. When you have a solid foundation, you might waffle off the top, you might lose a couple of layers, but if you have that solid foundation, you can always continue to build and grow on your business. Okay. Now, what are the 3 things that you need to do every single day? I'm going to do 3. I always notice 2 guys always hold the number 3 this way. Why is that? I don't know. Okay. Sorry. I digress. 3 things. 3 steps are required for business growth. Okay. Number 1 is lead generation. Number 2, lead generation. Number 3, anybody for an imaginary prize want to type in what's number 3?
Lead generation?
Yeah, all right.
Yay!
You get the golden prize. Lead generate, lead generate, lead generate. Okay. Those are the 3 things we need to do every day. So how do we do that? People will say, well, that's great, Stephanie, but I don't have any leads to call, or I can't afford to buy more leads, or I've exhausted all of my leads. I'm here to tell you, you have not. There's more room. Okay. So one of the things you need to have is an effective 60-second commercial. I know many of you probably go to networking events. If you're going to come to UWC, I'll be there in Orlando in September talking. You're going to meet a lot of people. You have to be able to tell people what you do in 60 seconds or less. And if you don't, you're going to lose them. And I have created a download that I will give you access to on how to create an effective 60-second commercial. And it's done in what we call a PAS format. And I don't know, does anybody know what the PAS format is? If you do, just type Y in the chat if you know what PAS stands for. And I know sometimes we got to keep moving too. So, but if you do, I'd like you to just type it in. But PAS stands for problem, agitate, solution. What is the problem that your customer has, right? If you think about your business, what is the problem that they have? So in my business, I'm in sales, right? I teach sales. I teach sales and communication training. The biggest thing, I just taught a class today to some government employees, and it's communication. They said the communication in our leadership is not good. So that's their problem. What's agitating about that to them is things aren't getting done. There's a lot of miscommunication. There's a lot of unhappy employees. They're not productive. They've got turnover, all kinds of problems. What's the solution? Hire me. hire Stefani Havel and I will come in and I'll give you communication training. I taught them for 4.5 hours. We spent learning communication techniques, how people communicate differently, how people express their opinions or how people work. And it was so powerful. It's these takeaways. And so for you, you need to think about your business. What is the problem? What's agitating to your clients about that problem? And then how do you solve it? So that's what you want to think about when you're doing your 60-second commercial, because people want to do business with somebody that they know, like, and trust. Okay. And how do they know you? How do they get to like you? How do they trust you? We'll talk a little bit about that, but really understanding that's who people want to do business with, is somebody that they know, like, and trust. Having that effective 60-second commercial, having great communication skills, and then never miss an opportunity to tell people what you do. And I'm just going to share, again, I want to be respectful of time. I'm running out, but never miss an opportunity to tell people what you do. Oftentimes people will say, yep, I'm good, Stefani. I got my 60-second commercial nailed. My question to you then is, does your spouse, your partner, your friends, your family, your kids, your neighbor, other people, could they stand up and give a 60-second commercial for you? Most often the answer is no, not really. That's where you're missing out. When we talk about leveraging your network to increase your net worth, that is the sweet spot. And I want to give you an example, because people say, well, I don't want to throw up on my family or friends, or they've already told me to leave them alone. It's not about necessarily selling to your network, but it's who does your network know, right? So I met Scott. I want to connect with Scott. Scott, do you know how many people you have on LinkedIn? How many connections you have?
Hundreds, thousands, I don't even know.
Okay, thousands. Is it possible that one of the thousands of people in Scott's network might need some sales or communication training? Probably, right? So maybe Scott doesn't need it, but maybe somebody in his network does. And so if he has someone come to him and say, gosh, I love your stuff, but this is where I'm really struggling. Hey, well, I know somebody that's great in sales. It's about thinking of, always being top of mind. And I share this story with you because it happened to me and it was an eye opener for me. So quick story. I love my birthday. My birthday's in July. Yes, I'm one of those people. I celebrate the entire month. I always have so I had a monumentous, had my 40th birthday party. Okay. It was a long time ago. And I had about 100 people at this party, and it was all my close friends and family. Right. And so just for the fun, we played Stefani Trivia. And what it was is you had to pay $1 and you answer 5 questions about me. And hey, well, you could win $100 just for knowing me. Right. So how simple is that? The very first question on the questionnaire was, what does Stefani do for her profession? Okay. Now I was in mortgage sales. I was in mortgage and finance in corporate America for 25 years. So at this time I had been in mortgage for, a good 10, 15 years. Now I was in 100% commission sales, and I just assumed everybody knew what I did. But I didn't really know what anybody else did. I didn't know what cousin Susie did for her job or her husband Bob did for his job. So why would I think that they know what I do for my job? But, because I just thought, well, of course people know what I do because I think I talk about it. So as I went through all the answers of all these people, the answers were all over the board. She's a preschool teacher. Okay, I volunteer at church with kids. It's not my job. She sells makeup. Okay, I hadn't sold makeup in like 25 years. She works in a bank. She's in real estate. They were all over the board. And I was like furious. I thought, how do they not know what I do? But again, that was my own arrogance because I really didn't know what they did for their job. And then I started looking around. So I think, how many loans? So there's about 100 people there. And I was in the mortgage business. How many loans do you think I did for all of those people that were there? Anybody want to take a guess? Just type in the chat. How many loans do you think I did for my closest friends and family out of these 100 people? 3, 0, 0. The answer, 0. I was livid. 0. I started looking around the room, thinking about it. Oh, sure. My aunt and uncle just bought a cabin. Oh, and then my cousin, they just got married and bought a house. And none of them used me for their mortgage. And I was really upset. I was like, I don't understand this. I mean, I've been, how do you not know what I do for a living? I work on commission. Whose fault was it? Theirs or mine? was my fault. So when I started changing up my strategy and thinking about leveraging my network, the next day I started an email campaign. I started telling my friends and family, hey, this is what I do for a job. If you know somebody that's getting married and might be wanting to buy a house or a cabin or anything, I would love the opportunity to earn their business. Now, would they want to refer me? Yes, because they know me, they like me, and they can trust me. But they just didn't really know what I did for my business. But of course, they're my friends and family. They know, like, and trust me. So when I did that, my business grew exponentially. As a matter of fact, in 1 week, my cousin had called me and said, hey, I got your email. I heard you talking about it at your birthday party. I just got relocated to northern Minnesota, to Duluth. Do you do loans in Duluth? Yes, I do. He's like, well, I'm at a happy hour with my 2 other coworkers that got relocated with me. Can you do their loans? Yes, I can. And then his coworker in the background says, hey, ask her if she does loans in Arizona. My in-laws want to buy a vacation home in Arizona. Of course, I do loans in all 50 states. I closed 4 loans that month and earned income of $15,000 just from leveraging my network and telling people what I did. My cousin knew what I did. And then he started telling other people what I did. And why? Because he knew me, he liked me, and he trusted me. So never, ever miss an opportunity to tell people what you do. And if you're embarrassed about it, you feel like you're going to throw up on them, well, then that's your problem. Okay. I mean, and you don't want to throw up and show up, but anyways, never miss an opportunity to tell people what you do. Okay. And so talking about a 60-second commercial, I'll give you a QR code that you can scan where you can download my guide on how to do that. Because if you don't have an introduction, get ready for rejection. And I'm sure many of you, I have been to so many networking events. I talk to people and I have no clue what they do. Or they talk to me for like 15 minutes. I still don't even know what they do. As you start rambling on and on and on and on. So you need to be able to be clear and concise in your message in 60 seconds or less, or you're going to get rejected. Okay, so here's what this looks like. I will give you the QR code where you can download it, but it's the 5 steps to creating an effective 60-second commercial. And this follows along with that PAS format: problem, agitate, solution. Okay. The other thing, when you visit my website, you can see, where did I go here? Okay, the DISC method. And I don't know some of you if you're familiar with it or not, but DISC is a behavior style test. And this is where I talk about the communications. So when you really understand communication skills and how you can craft your message and provide a value proposition in a way that resonates with your customers, you're going to grow your business exponentially. When I talked about in the beginning, people that master the communication skills have 58% higher closed sales by mastering their communication skills. But everybody's different. Some people are a D style where they're very direct, straight to the point. Give me the facts. How much does it cost and how soon can I get it? The I person, tell me the fun. What are all the features and the benefits and all that kind of stuff? I want to know the good stuff about it. The S and the C style, they're more conservative. They don't make decisions right away. They take time to think about things. If you're dealing with a C style customer and you're an I style like me, sometimes I tend to gloss over details a little bit. And I've lost sales because these people, they keep asking me all these questions. I'm like, poke 2 needles in my eyes. Why are you asking me all these questions? And I'll tell you the fun. I'll tell you the exciting part. But if you don't clearly communicate with somebody that wants those details, you're going to miss them. And sometimes people may not think that I know what I'm talking about or not respect me because I have too much energy. They think I might be flighty because I'm not giving them enough details. So understanding the DISC behavior style is another thing that I teach in my class. I give you, it's a 26-page assessment that you can take. And we go through that assessment page by page and really helping you understand your behavior style and how you can communicate. So this is something that once you visit my website, you can download. It just kind of gives you some tips and tricks on how to identify with each one of the styles there. So as I'm wrapping up, 79% of small businesses believe that their success depends on their community and networking. 79%. But only 48% of business owners report that they stay connected with their community. Do we see a little disconnect here? They believe in it, but yet they don't do it. Okay, that's a problem. That's why you need me. So one of the things I like to say, your database of customers isn't just a mailing list. It's a list of relationships. You should all be reviewing whether it's your Christmas list, your holiday list. If you just had kids that graduated from high school or college and you sent out a list, Those are your customers. Those are the people you need to stay in touch with. If you got married, I don't know, maybe you got married 10 years ago, it should still be on your list, right? And then you want to treat all those customers like they're brand new. So couple other things so I can stay on time, just LinkedIn. I would love it if you connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll share my name with you again at Stefani Havel. I would love to connect with you. You can follow along my page and see how I engage with my almost 19,000 connections, doing videos, content, all those kinds of things. Again, this is stuff that I teach in my class, the Prospects to Profits class, where you can learn how to leverage LinkedIn for your business and leverage your network. All right, so a couple of things. Again, you're going to unlock secrets to success, gain opportunities, learn new sales strategies. So here's a quick rundown of the class. You get a personalized DISC assessment. With that, that's a $497 value. I run a course called 100-Day Success Challenge. You get 2 free tickets to that. My course is 14 weeks live. You get me. Yep, lucky you. You can be with me for an hour every week for 14 weeks. And it's in a group, and we're going to talk about everything. And I bring on industry experts on LinkedIn, brand marketing, websites, CRM, funnels, iTex, all that kind of stuff. You get access to my network. You get to leverage my network when you join my class. And then also I have some exclusive chatbots that were created with Gary Vee, Kim Kardashian. I'll teach you how to use Answer the Public, my global community network, and then also my digital package. It's a value of over $5,300. You're on the call tonight. You're part of Bill Walsh's group. I have a special deal for you. If you're ready to accelerate your business, improve your outcomes, your communication skills, your public speaking and presentation skills, all that stuff, I'm going to help you with. Okay. It's not $3,995. Okay. It's $1,495. But because all of you are here, you're going to get a bargain. You get a discount. You get a special price. Well, one more time, one more slide for $1,395. So I'll show you a way that you can sign up. You can write down the code word sales to get a $100 discount off the course to get it for $1,395. 14 weeks of coaching, right? Okay, so that's about $100 a week to go live with me, get all of my experience, all the stuff we talked about. I'm going to help you. Now, you can text the word talk to that famous number 26786. And that will get you a link to my calendar. So you can just get on my calendar and we can talk about it. If you're like, I want to learn more about this class. I don't know if I want to sign up. Maybe I do want to sign up. I want you to just get on my calendars, text the word talk to 26786 so we can connect, so we can communicate, right? About what it is that you want to do. How do you want to grow your business? What strategies do you need? And here you go. Here's the QR code. You can go ahead, put your phones up to the QR code and scan this, and that's going to take you to the Sales Strategy Network, where you can download all of those guides that I talked to you about. The how to create an effective commercial, the DISC communication. There's all kinds of good stuff there for free, just for going to the Sales Strategy Network. So those are the 2 ways. So there's my name. I would love it. Send me a LinkedIn request, and I can connect with you on LinkedIn. You can go to the Sales Strategy Network, get all kinds of free downloads and goodies, or text the word talk to the phone number 26786, and you can get connected. So thank you so much. I don't know, how did I do in time? I think I was a little over, but I know some people joined late. So I want to thank you guys so much. I commend you for being here at night on what is it even? Thursday night to empower yourself and empower your business. Remember, if you didn't join the call in the beginning, text, again, that phone number is 26786. Type the letters UWC. If you're going to be in the Orlando area or Vegas, Bill has the Ultimate Wealth Camp. I will be speaking. Scott, I'm not sure if you're going to be there, but I will be in Orlando. Again, talking sales strategies. It's September 22nd. But you can get free tickets. And I'm telling you, it's a mind-blowing experience. You got to go. Tickets to Orlando, at least from Minneapolis to Orlando, they're cheap. Get on a plane, get down there, get fired up, get committed to your business. So that's my time. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll be hanging out. So if you have questions, again, you can text me, text that we're talking on my calendar. You can type in the chat. Any questions, I'm going to turn over to him, and then we'll both be here at the end. If we can open it up, the mics, if you guys have questions or comments or, want to hash things out, we will be here for you. So, Dallas is in March next year. So yeah, UWC, thank you for typing that in.